Okay, 1 second. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to Mahakali Tarot. This is Mahakali's daughter. Of course, we're going to be getting into a general reading today. Hello, Carolina. How are you doing? I hope everyone is feeling great, feeling lovely. I actually am going to pull some cards on what we are all being distracted from because I'm just so tired of all of this fake outrage and stuff. It's like people are acting like, oh my God, they didn't know that America was ran by pedophiles and perverts. Like, whatever. The Epstein files came out literally right before they did the shutdown, okay? So they're clearly trying to put us in another loop of some sort. So we are going to see behind the veil today to see what's really going on. Okay, what they're really trying to cook up behind the scenes, because I feel like all these disclosures and exposures of all these celebrities that we already knew were not good people is literally just distracting us from something bigger. Okay. So because I can actually look behind the veil, we're going to see what that is. Okay. Of course, we're going to start off with a prayer to cleanse the energy in this reading, because there's just a lot of sinister, low-level energy floating and circulating around. So, dear Heavenly Father and Most High Mother, thank you so very much for using me as a vessel to deliver these messages to my collective. Thank you in advance for allowing me to see beyond the veil, to see beyond the distractions, and to actually look and search for the truth. Please do withhold any truths or any disclosures that will give our enemies or opposition any opportunity to trap us, to ensnare us, to slander us, or to hold us back in any way, shape, or form from our spiritual purpose. And please do shine light on any and everything that we need to know, that we need to be prepared for in this upcoming season, as well as in this spiritual warfare. If there are any evil eyes that found their way to this reading at this time, please do make them go blind and redirect them from this reading. And if there are any people that have not seen this reading that needs to actually click on it, make sure it gets to them in a timely fashion. Ashe, ashe, ashe. All right, y'all. Hi, guys. Hello. Hold on. This and shuffle at the same time. So let me read what y'all got to say. Let me see. Hello. Hold on. Let me go ahead and get this clown out of here already. Hold on. Okay, because I see you already trying it. Okay, so let's get into these reads. Spirit, what are they actually hiding? What is behind the veil? What do we really need to know here? What is the media hiding? What is the government hiding? What are the outlets hiding at this point in time? Okay. So really, this is like one big energy harvesting ritual. Right now, the collective actually should be balancing their energies. They should be getting closer to their spiritual path and awakenings. So all this stuff is basically a distraction from that. It's a distraction from you ascending. Just like when they disclosed the Pstein list right before the pandemic. You know, the coronavirus, corona, if you actually look up the word of corona, it literally means crown. So specifically, the coronavirus was designed to attack the crown chakra, and the actual vaccine was designed to prevent people's crown chakras from fully awakening. Okay, so the vaccine was actually literally designed to target the Eve gene that is present in all human beings. Okay, our Eve gene is the actual connection that we have as humans to our God source energy. Okay, so turning that off is literally just deleting or silencing the little voice in your head that tells you not to do things, specifically like the little angel on the side of your shoulder and all those old story cartoons and stuff. Okay, so what they are trying to do right now is put people in a fear state and energy harvest from that fear state here. They want people to be in a fear state to go back into the beast system. So if people have been entrepreneurs, if they've been doing their own thing, that has been attacked because they want you to assimilate back into corporate America in some type of way. Okay. This is very intentional here because these Ashkenazi Jews, they're very fearful. They're fearful of the revolution. They're fearful of people reawakening. They're fearful of people stepping into their power. They're also very fearful of the black man. Okay. They're fearful of him turning on fully into his fullest potential. They are fearful of the black man becoming an honest man or a man of integrity here. Okay. So essentially they're trying to recruit any and all people, but specifically the black man, to become a part of their beast system, a part of their program, a part of their groups and organizations here. Okay. So they could be using black men specifically from the ages of 40 to 60 years old to kind of recruit and reach out to younger men to get them recruited here in whatever their secret societies are, because they don't want anyone to have a voice. actual goal is to prohibit you from any type of use of your magical gifts or your spiritual gifts in any type of way. All right. So they're trying to push a whole lot of propaganda for people to like lose trust in men altogether. So men will literally not have the whole fighter or protector mode activated in them, because men are very sensitive creatures. So if people are being fed propaganda to like be very distrusting of the male energy here or the masculine energy, and if it is consistently discredited, if it is consistently suppressed or consistently unacknowledged or taken advantage of in any way, shape, or form, that gives these reptilian energies the opening to essentially pretend to be loving, nurturing, or supportive to these energies, okay? But they're really snakes here, okay? So what they're trying to do, black man, is they don't want you to step into your power. They don't want you to have integrity. They don't want you to stand on your own square. They don't want you to fulfill your true potential here, all right? So the ancestors are coming through, and they're trying to warn you to stay and remain in a state of sovereignty, okay? And to be intentional in all that you do. Do not allow yourself to be persuaded because of fear, because of lack, or because of a lack of support right now, because your ancestors are genuinely fighting for you, okay? And it's like the more you show up for yourself, the more support you will be able to pull in from the 3D and other humans as well, all right? So a lot of black men are basically being psyopted to not step into your power, to not step into your authority, to believe that you cannot fulfill certain dreams, certain wishes, and certain goals. But that's untrue. These people just want you to be a part of their, I don't know what to call this, because it's not just one organization. It's not just one group. It's not just one cult. It's not just one gang. Okay. It's the energy here. They want you to be in very low vibrational energy, so you could be susceptible to stealing, to becoming a thief, or to becoming an energy vampire to feminine energies around you here, okay? The ultimate goal here from all of these distractions is to convince men that they don't have enough in the material world, and therefore they need to accumulate more riches, they need to accumulate more wealth, they need to accumulate more money to impress women for them to be supported. But that is incorrect, that's untrue. The more you get into material world desires, the more you start focusing on money and cars and clothes and hoes, the further and further away you will get from your divinity, okay? When you do double down on your sovereignty and on your spiritual path and on, like being good with your word, making your yeses and your no's, and simply showing up for yourself and speaking the truth, it will balance you out. It will also balance out the possibilities and opportunities for you in life naturally, okay? So they don't want you to believe in your own godly energy here, okay? They want a lot of black men to deduce themselves to being profitable or to putting themselves on the market in some type of way. They want you to be a sex slave, basically. They don't want anyone to have any true divine masculine authority here, because they already are aware that divine feminine energy is rising and is waking up. So Elon Musk here could be trusted or entrusted with spreading all this propaganda in the media right now. That could also be why his offices are being raided in France at this point in time for the platform of X. The ultimate goal is to prevent divine masculines from coming into union with their divine feminines, okay? They don't want you guys to marry, because marrying will alleviate a lot of the stresses from the rest of the world when you are really with your true heavenly spouse and your divine counterpart here. So these people are going to be doing this for the duration of winter. We also have Ecclesiastes 5:10. Whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income. This too is meaningless. So they want y'all focused on all of the wrong stuff. They want y'all focused on the past. They want y'all focused on things that are beyond your control. Because if you feel out of control, you are more susceptible to your vibrations being lowered, and you're also more susceptible to be taken advantage of, manipulated, and siphoned from as well, okay? What else we need to know behind the veil, spirit? So if you are a masculine here, between the ages of 23 and 33, you are being targeted, If you are a masculine between the ages of 45 and 50, you could be experiencing spiritual warfare here. Like your spirit could be fighting your soul or something like that. Or your ego could be fighting your soul or something. And if you are between the ages of 34 and 44 years, it seems as though you guys are in a bit of a limbo state. It's like you haven't done enough to be completely like dis-ease with yourself or within yourself, but you also have not fully stepped into your authority. So you can't really call yourself an OG either. So this is literally spiritual warfare on the so-called black man, aka the copper man in America right now, but it also is affecting all brown men and all melanated men across the world and the universe right now, okay? And it's intentional. The actual people that are pulling the strings are not brown or melanated whatsoever. They are Jewish. They are not the real Jews of the world, okay? And they're very jealous of the real Jews of the world, okay? So these people here could be trying to put false charges on sovereign men here in the community. They could be like hemming you up in a whole bunch of court paperwork or court cases here that you don't have really any involvement in. They're trying to pull you in so they can use you in some type of way, shape, or form. So spirit is behooving you to stay 10 toes in your belief systems so we can actually get a victory as humanity. Because yes, the divine feminine energy is very strong. Yes, we are rising. However, it still is a problem when we are talking about the patriarchy here and how patriarchy and misogynism is used to suppress the divine feminine. If the divine masculine does not fully step into his divinity, he will not be able to protect and defend the divine feminine as she steps into her full authority. And that's their whole goal here. Okay? They're also mad that I'm exposing this right now because they thought that if people were disturbed enough by all the wild stuff that they were hearing going on with the list and all of these exposures and stuff, that basically it was going to distract people from what they really need to be focused on right now for themselves and in their own individual lives. Okay, Spirit is not saying we shouldn't pay attention to all of this stuff. It's just saying that like the way that men are basically being brainwashed to assimilate into this corporate system, this corporate beast system here, is not the way of ascension, is not the way of evolution, is not going to get us out of this at all, okay? So the genuine feminine energy of the entire collective and both men and women is also being attacked here, okay? They don't want you to use your creativity. They don't want you to have any confidence. They don't want you to feel your destiny, because if you fully step into your spiritual path, if you fully hone in on your spiritual gifts, it will not take too much to defeat this system. However, as long as you are stuck in a vibration of fear, of not feeling good enough, of feeling inferior to this system, to these people, to this structure, to this matrix, they will continue to have their way. The more the frequency rises, the more you step into your authority, man and woman, the more you gain your confidence and you really like hone into your creativity and you really open up your imagination and you are consistent in that, these people are naturally going to die, because the temperature on Earth is naturally going to rise. What they will not tell you is all of the chemtrails and all of this poisoning in the food, air, and water is specifically so they can live longer. It has nothing to do with us not living. It has more to do with them going extinct right now, and they're trying to save face. They're trying to save their race, okay? The sun is killing them. So the more we are happy, the more we are healthy, the more we are creative, the more that we are in union with each other, the divine masculine and the divine feminine of the collective, the quicker it will be for the earth to take out the trash. These people cannot survive in a quote unquote harsh climate. They cannot survive in high temperatures. They cannot survive in high frequencies. And the earth is responding not to them, not to what they are doing. The earth is responding to us, melanin people. We are the battery here. That is why they use us for energy purposes. If we control our own energy, we control how the earth spins. We control the temperature of the earth. We control the frequency of earth. So we need to be more mindful of raising the vibration versus feeding into these fear tactics at this point in time. Right now, there is a fallen angel. I'm hearing Amiel. I don't know who that is. If somebody knows who that is, drop that in the chat for me, please. But I'm hearing Amiel has a lot to do with keeping things at a very low vibration here on Earth. And it's also a 3D goddess, or it's like a 3D, some type of high priestess or something. This fallen angel has been commissioned by to consistently like pump out frequencies of like negativity and darkness and fear and all this other stuff in Earth right now. Also, they're having law officials lie to the general public about what's really going on behind the scenes, about which bills are being passed and which laws are being changed. They're trying to do things discreetly while everyone is in a state of fear. So pay attention to local laws. Pay attention to if they are redoing the borders around you, because that's significant here as well. They want everyone trapped in a specific place, okay? Whether this is like locally, like literally, they want you trapped in the specific place that you're in right now, or they want you trapped in a specific mind state, okay? You guys do need to ground yourself, man and woman watching this, okay? And also repent. A lot of people have a hard time establishing a relationship with their creator or with source energy because they do feel as though the things that they have done are just, you know, not forgivable. However, opening your heart and taking accountability and admitting that you were wrong verbally to your source creator. You don't have to be around anyone. It will shift things in your heart space. It will shift things in your heart chakra, and it will open up your mind so that you can truly develop and establish a relationship with the divine here, okay? Because these people, the Jews, or the Jewish, I should say, they want you imbalanced. They want you in a state of fear. They want you in a state of lack. They want you in a state of poverty, especially mentally and spiritually here, so that you can go to them for wealth and abundance and opportunity, okay? We also have Psalm 94, 20 through 23. Can wicked rulers be allied with you? The Lord our God will destroy them. So again, these people want you attached to them in some way, shape, or form. They want you on payroll. They want you a part of their groups. They want you attending their parties, black man, okay? Because their ultimate goal is to get you to relinquish your authority, your spiritual authority, and your spiritual autonomy to them in their ways and what they have planned for the collective, okay? They need everyone's cooperation to fully roll out this NWO order, okay? If you do not know what the New World Order is, please do look it up on your own time. Also, if you do not know what Agenda 2030 is, please also do look that up on your own time. Both of those agendas are significant here. These people are also using colorism tactics, okay? So they are trying to promote feudal 3D things like physical stuff, looks and stuff like that in order to shift the perspective of the masculine collective here. They don't want you paying attention to who is going to tell you the truth. They want you to pay attention to the prettiest prop ups that they put out from the government, like a lot of the stars, a lot of the singers, a lot of the rappers, a lot of the politicians. They are promoted specifically for their beauty and because they are able to be compliant within this beast system, not for any other reason. They have no spiritual authority. They do not have any spiritual ranking, and they do not maintain any spiritual sovereignty, okay? So essentially, they want people out here, they want the blind leading the blind, okay? They want you to be confused. They want you to be out of pocket. And they want you to be worried about the wrong stuff. Because as long as you're worried about the wrong stuff, this NWO order and agenda is going to work and be executed perfectly. But if you decide to tap in and to focus on what you can control in the process of all of this other chaos being created around the world, that is when the energy of the collective shall shift. You also have a great aunt here for some of you guys who has been working with like a major celebrity to go against you or to steal your destiny or your inheritance. So that's another thing you're being distracted from. That's not for everybody. That's a specific message here for someone. Whoever this great aunt is, she is not trustworthy. She is very imbalanced. She is mentally unstable in the mind. And she was hired to harvest from you energetically to steal your ideas and intellectual property. We also do have Proverbs 26:11. As a dog returns to his vomit, so fools repeat their folly. So these agents that are instructed to go against you in your life here, and that are instructed to keep you trapped in a certain frequency here, they cannot pull themselves out of their own karmic loops. That is why they are consistently and continually able to be used by the enemy and the adversary here. They need these agents that are stationed around divine beings to be successful in destiny swapping. So they need you to be constantly on the move. They need you to be broke. They need you to be codependent on people that they can manipulate or people that they have already recruited here. Okay? Because you have all these angry masculines that don't want you to fully step into your power, that do not want you to have any authority over them, and that do not want you calling them out. Because it's fine if you're just thinking about and talking about celebrities. It's not fine if you start calling out people in your communities here that are still doing the same things that these celebrities are being called out for. Okay? So they don't want you to turn the camera on the things that you can actually speak up about and the people that you actually have shaken hands with and gotten to know, be it pastors, be it local politicians, be it your friends, your family members, old homies, classmates, acquaintances, you know, people that you know or have known in past lives that are still participating in this same stuff. They don't want you to be aware, okay? So they're trying to position people around you so you can stay in a state of delusion, okay? And you can be cast all these illusions constantly. They want you distracted and unaware. You also have a group of masculines, or you have like one major group, secret society like the Illuminati here, that is really working hard to shadow ban you. They're really working hard to discredit your work. They're really working hard to recruit anybody that they feel like is your friend around you to go against you here, to siphon energy from you, possibly to hack your devices, because they just do not like people doing for themselves. They don't like people thinking for themselves. They do not like people basking in their own energy, okay? These people expected, if they were to isolate certain divine beings here, that they would eventually want to be a part of the club. They would eventually want a seat at the table. But when you get closer to God, which is basically getting closer to yourself, you have no interest in any of this stuff, and you don't want anything that God has not granted for you or not provided, okay? You have a Scorpio here that is significant. You have a Scorpio woman that wants to be you, that wants your spot, that wants your title. She has been competing with you in various arenas, and she's still losing. She's losing specifically because you are shedding old habits, patterns, and behaviors. So you guys have nothing in common. She cannot duplicate or imitate this new energy that you are stepping into, because it is completely divine and she is not, okay? You also do have a Scorpio man here that is at a crossroads, that has been a member of these, I don't know if he's a part of the Masons or he's a part of the Illuminati, but he was recruited in your area by the military to try to build some type of inverted caste system. So he has been personally like hunting and seeking out divine beings to try to turn them from the top of the wheel to the bottom of the wheel purposely here. So he's at a crossroads because he's being exposed. And also the divine beings he has been attacking for the past up to 6 years are remembering who they are, and they're stepping into their full autonomy and their power. We also do have Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. So these people don't want to be condemned, and they will not tell you that when you turn away from the ways of the world and you really tap into your own divine energy, into your own divine gifts, into your own intuition, into your own power, you do have universal and spiritual authority to condemn these people and to sentence them accordingly. So they want you trapped in the mindset of, oh, this is illegal, someone should be locking them up, versus I know that these people are evil and I should be the ones personally seeking to take them out, because they seek to take out good energy. They seek to take out purity. They seek to unsert babies and their divinity and children. These are the same people that are raping babies. These are the same people that are raping children. So all these politicians, everybody is getting exposed. Even the people that so-called are trying to expose these people, a lot of them are participating in the same evil acts, okay? But when you rise up against everything that is evil and you don't have no picks, these people don't have nowhere to run and they don't have any mask to put on. Anything else? Yeah, this is a backfire. A backfire is about to happen, or it is already in the process of happening, because these people thought that everybody was going to be confused, everybody was going to be under a spell, everybody was going to be in a state of panic and fear and worry. And just basically, you were supposed to be so scared that you was just going to be like a deer in headlights. Like, you know, all this information that is just too overwhelming, so you just don't do nothing about it. That's what they want. Okay, that was their goal. That was their initiative. But seeing beyond the veil, this reading itself is affecting the frequency of the universe. It is also affecting the frequency of whatever destiny they thought that they had planned for all of humanity. Okay, this doesn't even have to go viral for it to be effective, because I absolutely do have sovereign authority, and I absolutely do have a strong ashe, and the things that I say absolutely do come true. Ashe. We do have 2 Peter 1-3, but there were also false prophets among the people. They will secretly introduce destructive heresies, even denying the master who bought them, bringing swift destruction upon themselves. So that's what they are scared of. They're scared of that prophecy coming true. They're scared of their actions coming back to haunt them. They're scared of being held accountable. So there's a lot of masculine energies that have been recruited to do very sinister things to divine energies, such as grape rituals, such as kidnapping, such as trafficking here. Okay? A Pisces here could be significant. There could have been a Pisces that sacrificed a baby girl for a promotion in upper level ranking in one of these secret societies here, okay? A Pisces masculine, I'm hearing. And so this Pisces masculine could have worked with a slim man or a slim woman. Or I'm also hearing this Pisces could have worked with a Scorpio masculine and a Scorpio feminine to sacrifice the baby girl, and they tried to set someone up here in the collective for this murder. But that's a backfire as well. It's like they cannot incorporate you in any kind of crimes. Therefore, you do not fit the profile of a murderer. Therefore, you are not a suspect. Therefore, the attention is turned back on them. Ashe. These people are wicked. And there's too many people behind bars that did not do the crime that they have been sentenced for. And you keep hearing stories of these men and these women that went to jail over 20, 30, 40 years ago. And they're just now being released off of, someone finally digging into their case and realizing that they were not at the scene of the crime, or they were, miscalculated because their faces were not the same faces of the actual suspects, etc. and so forth. That is not by accident. The justice system does not honor honorable people. So as an honest person, as a person of integrity, do not find yourself in the midst of people that you cannot trust. Those will be the same people that will be responsible for ruining your life and setting you up in some way, shape, or form. There are a lot of earth angels that are being activated amongst the collective. A lot of earth angels have gone through a lot of karmic issues, karmic interference recently, because they do not want these earth angels to come into union with their divine counterparts, okay? Because when 2 or more are gathered, you guys are going to be stronger than the entire system that comes up against you. But the key is being gathered under God first and foremost before you come together. And that's what they're trying to prevent here. But when you are wise, when you can see beyond the distractions, when you can see beyond the illusions, you will figure this out on your own. Also, if you have been under constant spiritual attack, if you've been going through a lot of warfare, relief is on the way. Okay, we also do have the number 6, which is the number of integration, harmony, care, as well as embodiment, okay? So right now, living within compassion within your own life, having compassion for you, having compassion for the sides of yourself that did not know better, having compassion for your younger self, having compassion for your foolish moves, having compassion for, if you did walk around or if you did decide to take the wrong path in life, having compassion for that and deciding to turn back and go the right way. That is what will fully integrate your highest self into your 3D timeline right now. Okay. It will also bring you a sense of satisfaction, because what is not satisfying is being promoted in the rankings and in the likings of these groups and secret societies here that thrive off of satanic energy. The closer you walk with God, the more of a relief your heart will feel. the more of a relief your chakra system will feel. The more easy life will come to you when it comes down to opportunities, when it comes down to connections, when it comes down to connecting with your soul family. You will not feel alone so long as you follow the ways of God. And religion has nothing to do with being godly at this point in time. Godliness specifically is focused on the principles of the universe and universal law. Okay? So we don't even have to go the religious route at this point. Okay? But do you understand that when I do speak on certain Bible verses, these are protection spells for you all, okay? So you will know what is and what is not, okay? What else do we have? Yeah, because there's a lot of people in all of these religions that are wearing a mask anyway. So, like, do not focus on the messenger, focus on the message, okay? Because there are a lot of systems that are specifically in place to keep the divine feminine in a certain frequency or to stunt the divine feminine potential in the collective. And when I say divine feminine, I do not mean specifically women. I also mean it is designed to suppress the divine femininity of masculines here as well. Because Islam, Christianity, as well as Judaism, do not promote or find acceptable any true divine feminine energy. And divine feminine energy does include creativity, does include imagination, does include compassion, does include empathy, does include healing, does include discipline, does include prayer and structure and ritual, okay? So they would rather you repent for not having structure and not being disciplined than you to actually practice those things, okay? So pay attention to that as well. What else do we need to know? What else is being hidden behind the veil, spirit? What is being hidden as well is right now is the perfect time to master your energy. Now is the perfect time to manifest right before the spring equinox. So consciously using your mind, okay, willing things into existence. They don't want you to tap into that power because now we can actually influence destiny. We can actually influence how the narrative of history goes from this point on. They don't want you acknowledging that. They want everyone to be in a fear-based state. So essentially they can be trapped in whatever their confusion is in the world, whatever these promotions are, excuse me. And then we also do have the... Yes, you want?
Thank you, lady. Appreciate it, mother. Don't ever injure yourself.
You okay?
Yes. Oh, Lord.
Okay, guys. So yeah, there's also a distraction from they have a bad omen, like there's a bad prophecy that is being fulfilled right now. Okay. So they don't want you to know that all of these like negative or all of these low vibrational world elites and world leaders are actually being condemned. They don't want you to know that they are being sentenced here by the Galactic Council. There's a lot going on in the background with these major world leaders here, and they're trying to save face here. A lot of them are being exposed for being hornballs and pedophiles, etc., and so forth. Okay. Also, there is a light being shined on Big Pharma right now. Big Pharma is essentially hoping for more people to be medicated because that essentially will boost their entire economy here. Big Pharma is also in control of a lot of the pedophilia and trafficking rings. Okay, quiet as it's kept. They don't want you to know that as well. So they want everyone focused on material world wishes and desires such as money, cars, clothes, and hoes, and drugs and medications, and just being completely detached and removed from this current timeline so you can't actually defeat it or you can't supersede it, okay? But you standing in your authority, and also if you do decide to use this period of time to be and remain sober, you will be essentially defeating your enemies with grace. A lot of these people will die if you do not give them proper attention, like this period. A lot of these groups, a lot of these industries, a lot of these organizations, if they do not have proper fear or proper control over the collective, they will essentially fall and crumble, okay? because this entire false matrix was built off of fear in the first place. So if people stop fearing them, if people stop supporting them, if people stop giving them their hard-earned money, they don't have any power or jurisdiction over the collective anymore. Okay? We also have the number 7, which is the number of initiation. So another thing that they don't want you to do is fully initiate yourself into your spiritual authority. Like I said, it keeps coming out. 7 is the number of mysticism, solitude, inner sight, and the veil thinning. Okay, so that's where we are right now, especially my collective here. Okay, so yes, there needs to be a public understanding that there are pedophiles present in the general collective. There are pedophiles in your cities. There are pedophiles in your communities. Yes, that's true. But initiating yourself is what you need to be focused on more than anything. Okay, because when you are solid, when you are alone, you can hear God clearly, and you can hear his warnings clearly. You can hear his messages clearly. Okay, your intuition will not lie to you, even though there are a lot of medias, a lot of platforms, a lot of outlets that are designed to do that. Okay. And mind you, a lot of the media platforms are ran by pedophiles in the first place. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Anything else that we need to know before I go here, Spirit? Yeah, there's a lot of wolves in sheep clothing among you. Okay. So just pay attention to the people that are fake being concerned, people that are fake supporting you right now, people that are masking their true intentions, their true frequency, their true their true heart. Because there are a lot of people that think that they can be deceptive and basically skate by, such as Nicki Minaj. She's coming to mind. She's pretending to be like a prophet, or she's pretending to be like an earth angel or something. She's not at all. She is also one of these wolves in sheep's clothing here. She's actually married to a pedophile. Her whole family is pedophiles, okay? And she's also in bed with Trump as well. So it's just a whole lot of blasphemy going on. A lot of people that are pretending to be of the light that are actually not. A lot of people that are pretending to still have souls that actually do not. Okay. So spirituality is about not being tricked. Okay. And light is being shined on these people of these wolves. Okay. In sheep's clothing here. Okay. And justice will be served regardless of how many people are trying to pretend like they're not a part of this beast system and pretend like they do not contribute to this pedophilia and this trafficking and these people being taken advantage of divine light. Okay. You are manifesting from a higher realm and bringing it into 3D because you are an architect of light. The number 22 is also significant here. We also have Psalm 27, 1-3. The Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Again, this is a protection ritual. As long as you do have Christ energy activated within you, you are protected. As long as you do have divine intentions, you are protected. As long as you do know that the God within you should be the orchestrator and the director of all of your thoughts and all of your moves and all of your actions, you are protected, and you shall fear none of these people. None of them. They should be in fear of us. They should be in fear of people that live right. They should be in fear of righteousness. They should be in fear of divinity. They should be in fear of what happens when you violate certain spiritual laws and principles. That's what we need to be moving into as a collective. Not in wondering when the police are going to lock up the police. Not in wondering when the politicians are going to hold each other accountable. Not in wondering when the president is going to step down for being a bad person. That's not realistic. Step into your own power. Take up your own cross. And activate the people around you so we can actually be a threat to this system. Because being docile is not going to work. Podcasting about this shit is not going to work. Talking about it on the internet doesn't do anything. We have to get the boots to the ground. We have to get into our communities, and we have to become a threat to the system. Anarchy is the way forward. Anarchy is the only way these people will be held accountable. We have to instill the same fear that these people have been placing in our hearts for centuries into their hearts in this current timeline. That is the only way this matrix can crumble. Everything else is a lie, is a distraction, and is an illusion. I promise you. These people will be going down for what they did. in the dark and in the light. Because at one point, they didn't even give a damn anymore. They just started doing crazy stuff all over the place because they just knew that God's real people weren't about shit. They laugh at us while we so-called are condemning them with our side-eyeing and our negative remarks. They don't care about any of that. They did not capture divine beings by talking shit about them or gossiping or starting podcasts about them. They captured divine beings by force and by violence. The only way we can be nonviolent to these people is if they have been nonviolent as well. That is not the case. People are getting snatched off the street. So therefore, the same people that are doing the snatching need to get snatched off the streets and disappear as well. That is divine justice. That is karmic retribution. That's what these people do not want you to know and recognize. That you have the same authority that they thought that they have. That they bleed like you bleed. And that the only way they're going to get out of these positions is if we force them out of these positions. That's what they do not want you to know. Okay? So I hope these messages inspire somebody to really tap into their energy today. I hope they inspired you to tap into your true divinity and your power. And I really do hope this reading being posted touches the right person that can make the right moves in the collective, okay? Because I know I don't control everything. I just control the frequency. But anyway, if you are new here and you really enjoyed this reading, if it helped you in any type of way, smash that like button for me, okay? And if you're new and you appreciate my vibe and would like to become a member of my tribe, smash that subscribe button. Make sure y'all turn my notifications on. And if you would like to donate to my channel, my cash app is Aqua Rasta Empress. That is AQUARASTAEMPRESS with the $ before that, okay? But I probably will be back a little bit later. Y'all be good. Happy Tuesday.